Well, that was a waste of money. All right, so you're looking to purchase a pistol optic and you just don't know where to start. There's just so many options. What do you do? Well, first thing that you want to do is find out what your pistol footprint is. So each optic, each pistol has a different footprint type that allows it to fit onto the pistol. So RMR, RMSC, MOS, you need to find out what that is so that you can find the appropriate optic or find the appropriate optic adapter plate. So we want to have all that information so you can buy everything you need, order it together, and it all shows up together. And now you're not getting the optic in the mail and then all of a sudden be like, oh, I can't even put this on my gun. I had a whole day planned. Now I got nothing. Okay, so find out what your pistol footprint is. The next thing that you want to look at is shake, awake, and auto turn off. Let's be real here. Whether you're a beginner or a experienced shooter, we have all forgotten to turn our optics off. And when that happens, it drains that battery life. And when you show up to the range, or if you're in a self-defense situation and your battery is dead, that's going to be a bad day. So that auto shut off and shake awake feature allows us to save that battery and have that optic ready when we need it and we don't need to really think about it. So shake awake and auto turn off, that is a must when you're purchasing your optic. Next thing that I always look for is the accessibility of the battery. So the batteries do run out. Whether if you have the shake awake, it's going to run out eventually. It is good to have the ability to remove the battery easily without having to mess up your zero or anything like that. So if we're looking at the MeCanik here, this one, it's accessible right here on the top. So we remove that top plate, battery comes out, replace it with a new one, and we're ready to go. If we are looking at something like this, this is a Crimson Tracer, this is the RAD optic, the battery is actually on the bottom. So in order to remove that, you have to take the entire optic off, remove the battery, put it back in, and then remount it. So that can throw your zero off, which that just means time and money being spent to re-zero it at the range. And we really don't want to do that. We want something that's going to stay mounted on, remove the battery. We don't have to fiddle with the zero. We're good to go. So if you're looking at something like this is the Olight SE. This one, you remove a screw here and then this side panel slides out and you can replace the battery there. So this is an enclosed optic, and that's why we have it on the side versus on the top like with the MeCanik. And then if you're looking at something like this is also an Osight, but this is a rechargeable battery. You don't take it out, it just recharges, it stays in there, you don't ever remove it. That kind of has pros and cons in and of itself. I don't know how long that battery is going to last with it being rechargeable. You know, I don't know what the lifespan is. It's supposed to be a long time, but time will tell on that. So this one, you don't have to worry about removing batteries because it just has a recharging cap that goes on it and it is ready to go. Now, this next one is something that a lot of people, I kind of disagree with. So we're talking about the size of the optic. And for different reasons, people are going to say, you know, if you're doing an EDC, so a concealed carry, you want something like this Holosun here, which is smaller, it's easier to conceal, and it's not going to print on your shirt when you have it concealed. And then they're going to say, well, use the larger ones for, you know, a range gun or an open carry, or if you're doing competition, go with the larger one. Smaller one, that one's for concealed carry. I disagree with that. I say go large no matter what. These smaller ones, they're nice to an extent, but when we're actually drawing and shooting, it's a little bit harder to find that reticle because it's such a small window for you to look through. And if we're in a self-defense situation, that's kind of when we need to find it right away. You know, so I don't want to be searching for my reticle in that smaller window. I want something large that allows us to point, and then we can bait. It's even if we're not very good at point shooting, we find it a little bit easier. So I say go large. don't worry about going with the smaller optics. So if we're looking at that concealed carry, I'll move this stuff out of the way. I have the Olight 3 MOA optic on here. This is the Trijicon X9 Duty Gen 3, and it's a somewhat small pistol, similar to a Glock 19, I'd say. And then I have the larger optic on there. So if we're concealing this, okay, what is it that's actually printing in my shirt? It is the grip itself. So the optic, yes, it prints, but really not that much. It's going to be the grip. So we're taking something like this. This is the Hellcat, and this is the smaller optic here. So still get an imprint of the optic, but again, it's the grip itself that is the problem, even on this smaller frame. Now if we go, this is a 80% arms. The frame is same size as a Glock 19. Same thing. What is the print? It's the grip, not so much the optic. And then this is the Gideon Omega, so it is a larger optic as well. And so you can see it's not printing that much, or if it is printing a little bit more than these smaller ones, the main concern is still the grip. So even though it's not printing as much, the grip is there. It's not like you're hiding anything any better. So here it is. Okay, so there it is with the larger Osight. And again, it's the grip that is going to be doing that. So you want the smaller gun, get the larger optic so we can actually draw and then find that reticle a lot easier. So even if we do like a full-size pistol here, okay. So what is printing the most here? It's the grip still. I mean, here I am. And now I have that bigger window to actually look through. So that's going to be beneficial in this case. So still concealable. Yes, we can see it a little bit, but unless somebody's actually like really paying attention, they probably won't notice that. Okay, so it's not much different from that one. Okay, next thing that I always look for is auto dimming features. So this is going to be really useful if you're carrying it, for defense. If you're indoors, outdoors, night, day, it's going to auto adjust the brightness of your reticle, and that's going to make it so that you're not getting anything that's too dim on accident or too bright on accident. So the MeCanik right here, this one has shake awake and auto turn off, but it doesn't have auto dimming. So let's see, what if I have it? Okay, so I have it for an indoor setting right now, but if I was outdoors, I may not be able to see that reticle, and then I may need to manually turn it up, and then now I'll be able to see it. And I don't want to be doing that. If you're in a competition, you don't want that. And if you're doing it self-defense, you definitely don't want to be pointing out there and then being like, I can't see it at all. It's too dim, because I was zeroing it at an indoor range the other day and I forgot to adjust it. Okay? So here it's too bright. Now I go, let's dim it. But in the daytime, see, I went too much right there, and now I can barely see it even though it's indoors. So now I'm going to adjust it back. So yeah, I don't want that. So I want something like the Osight right here. This one, it's auto dimming, so perfect. If it's darker, well, it adjusts again so that's not overly bright, and now it brightens up. So auto dimming feature, I think that's a must, especially if you're looking for something to conceal carry, and it's going to be your everyday carry where you're carrying it day, night, indoors, outdoors. This is the type that you want to look for. Man, we are blessed right now, because there are a lot of low-end budget optics that are phenomenal, and they're going to be great for you. And they have all the options. So the Osight, this one has all the options that you probably want. Shake awake, auto turn off, auto dimming, auto adjusting. The Gideon, this one doesn't have the auto adjust or auto dimming, but it does have shake awake, so not as good. This one goes for about 200. The Olight is about, or the Osight is about 160. Same thing with this. This is the smaller one, so I wouldn't recommend this. And these small ones, I feel like I've wasted my money on these smaller ones because I just don't use them anymore. I automatically change them out, even on my concealed carry pistols. The MeCanik doesn't auto adjust. That one's still around 160. So out of all these kind of budget ones, I would go with the Osight because it has that feature. Then if we move up to a higher tier, so if we're going to Holosun, these ones are really good. Some of them have solar panels. That is always something that's really good. I think a solar panel is nice. Again, make sure it has the auto adjust and shake awake on there. But if it doesn't, a lot of these, you know, this one's rechargeable. Batteries last forever because of the shake awake and auto turn off. You probably aren't going to have issues, but the solar panel, I think if you can find the solar panel one with all those features, that is probably the one that you really want to look into because that one has the best of everything basically. Okay, but even the Holosun, I've had a $500 Holosun optic malfunction and not work very well, but then I've had a cheap NC Star, same version, or kind of like a knockoff version, so same quality solar panel, this and that, blah, blah, blah. That one worked much better than the Holosun. And it was 150 bucks. So there's that. And then recently I was out with my buddy Danny. He was shooting the Zermatt Waltz 9, and that had a Trijicon SRO on it, and that failed. Yeah. Oh. So mine are low too. Right. It's not Danny.
Adjust the dot.
Okay. All right, okay. Mine are still low.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
Well, I mean, like they're in the same spot. You see where I'm hitting?
Yep.
It didn't adjust it at all.
Not adjusting at all.
Yeah, it's all the way. It wasn't able to actually like be zeroed anymore. You couldn't adjust it. It was just completely off. And so high-end ones break too. The only benefit that you're going to get now at this point with the high-end ones, a lot of times their warranty is a lot better, but really not that much. A lot of these lower-end or mid-tier ones, they have almost the exact same warranty. Customer service might be a little bit different. But for me, honestly, with these cheaper options, I'd be okay buying a couple of these and then just having a couple spare ones lying around. So if this does break, it fails, the battery doesn't work anymore, okay, remove 2 screws, put the next one on, zero it, and then I'm ready to go. Versus going with, you know, Holosun or Trijicon, whatever it may be. It breaks, there's a $500 optic. That's the only one I have. Now I have to send it in for warranty. They have to check it, make sure it falls under the warranty guidelines, and then ship it back. So that entire time I don't have an optic that I can use. And if it is something where it's like, that's your primary EDC, well, now you're not using your EDC with an optic anymore. You're going back to iron sights. So that is a downside. I would personally much rather get something that's cheaper, buy a couple of them, and then if it has a decent warranty, it breaks, I send it in, put my other one on, I get a new one back in from the warranty, and now I still have my backup, and I'm ready to put it on there right away. So I prefer going the lower end and just buying a couple of them. So even if you buy the high-end brand, those fail too. There's no guarantee. And all of these, I mean, most of the time, if you drop something and it lands on concrete or hard ground, right on that optic, there's a good chance, high quality, low quality, it's probably gonna break. Now, most of us are not going to be dropping our pistols all that much. I have actually, which one did I drop? I think I dropped this one. It was on my Fusion XP Pro Comp. Yeah, and it was right here, and it fell and it dropped, and it's still running. And this is concrete down here. So it fell from, this is about 4 feet high. It's right here, and then boop, bam, landed right on it, and it's still good, and then I switched it over to this, and I'm planning on getting another one of these. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. And then all of these, I mean, if we're doing stuff like that, anything like this, it's going to hold up just fine. No issues. Make sure that you obviously have blue Loctite on those screws, and make sure that they are tightened down to the correct torque specifications, and you're good. Now, the last thing that I would say to consider, and this is if you're not sure what kind of reticle style you want. If you go with something, so again, I wouldn't recommend the SE just because it's smaller than what I want. If you get the 3 MOA recharging one with the, it's the X. So the Osight X, it's this version, but it allows you to change your reticle options. And then it has all the, exact same features that the original Osight has on it. But what we're able to do is we're able to take, you're going to have a 3 MOA dot, and then with a like 6 MOA circle with the tag lines on the side. So you can pick just the dot, just the circle, or you can pick both. And then that kind of gives you an idea of what you really like, and then you can choose between which one, and then just leave it there. And then if you're like, you know what, I want to upgrade to something else, I want a dedicated one that just has the circle and dot, or just has the dot, then you can buy that later on. But you'll probably be happy with the one that has the multiple functions anyway, as long as it has everything else that we talked about: shake awake, auto dimming, easy accessible battery, or rechargeable battery, whatever it is, or solar panel. That's all great. Go ahead and go that route. So if you go with something like this, is the Gideon Omega. This one has the circle and dot, and that's the only option it has. So you can't cycle through anything else. So if you end up being like, you know what, it's just too much going on inside my Optic, I don't like it, you're stuck with it. But if you have one that you can switch between, you can be like, you know what, don't like it, I'm going to go with dot. Or maybe you're like, I really like that, I'm going to leave it. That is a good option. And there's plenty. The CV Life has a couple. We just did a review on that, and that one worked really well. You can see a difference in quality with flaring depending on where the light source is. So if the sun is out and it's right in front of you, because we did it in the morning, there was a little pie slice in our 360 circle that we would get some flaring, but it wasn't so much that it was like, you know, you point, you're like, I'm distracted, I can't figure it out. It was just something that we could notice when you're paying attention. In the moment, you probably wouldn't notice it that much at all, and it'd be totally fine. So you get some quality differences there, but in the end, it really doesn't matter that much. So you're getting a low price, and you're getting all the features that you really want. That one, I think, had a solar panel. You could cycle through the reticles, and it was auto off, shake awake, and I don't know if it was an auto dimming. I think that was the only thing that it wasn't. So yeah, you can find some really good options right away. It's not going to cost you a lot. You're going to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And then if you want, you can upgrade. I'm thinking if it's holding 0, why upgrade? Buy a second one and you have a backup. So there you go. All right, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. What is your preferred Optic? Do you think it's worth it to go with the high-end name brand? It gives you a little bit more confidence. Maybe you just like that they stand behind their product, they've been around for a long time, or you kind of like, I'm going to buy 5 of the CV Life and I'm going to be good forever. Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, we'll see you later.